Alright folks, welcome to my YouTube page. This is my first video. Family member recently asked me to build him an AR rifle, and since the last time I built an AR-15, there's been quite a few new parts come out. And I started looking at some of these parts and trying to find reviews on them, and either couldn't find anything that was very helpful or wasn't done by one of these YouTube channels that hell get paid to do these reviews. And I hate those reviews. The company puts a review out there, shows you a video of this part, and they tell you, oh, how great it is and how super it is, and it's completely fucking biased. I absolutely hate that. I don't feel those are good, honest reviews. So this is my attempt at it. I'm not getting paid for this crap. I'm doing it to help other people out, hopefully. I'm not a camera person, as you'd say, or a people person at that. But I guess we'll start with a little bit about me. I did time in the Marine Corps. First day of boot camp, they gave us a M16. I fell in love. I'd never held one, never used one. Most I'd ever used was, a deer rifle or, some cheap busted up SKS or some stupid crap like that. Not to say that the SKS is stupid. They can be good rifles if you put a little time and effort into them. But I've done several. Well, more than several. I've done quite a few AR builds, mostly 308s. I like the big boy calibers. I'm a big boy. Not to say anything's necessarily wrong with 223s or the AR-15 in general. Just I prefer 308s. So I guess we'll get started here. First we got up today is the Magpul ACS stock and the primary weapon system's buffer tube, enhanced buffer tube. You give me a minute, get the camera turned around, and we'll get right into it. Alright, here we have the Magpul ACS stock. I saw this one, I think this one's been out there for quite a while. I'd never use it. Normally the only Magpul stocks I've ever used are PRS, which, like I said, I do mostly 308s, and this is normally what I put on them. This is my 308 lower. This one's mine. I just put this grip on there. We'll do a review of that later. AXTS Talon safety selector, very nice selector. Seekins billet mag release button. Anyways, we'll move this off back to the side, because that's not what we're here for today. Here we're for this. Alright, so yeah, mostly I've used the PRS stock and, just the regular cheap MOE furniture with $30, $40, collapsible stock. This one, like I said, this one's for a build I'm doing for a family member. He wanted all out badass and functional and, the whole 9 yards. And he had the money to dump into it, so I started looking for badass stocks, and hell, I thought this one looked kind of badass. The technical information online, I didn't see much on it, and I really didn't look into many reviews on this. What couple reviews I did find on it, on other YouTube channels and stuff, was like, oh yeah, this is a great stock, blah 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 blah. Yeah, it's a great stock. I like it. The one thing I like about it is the lockup feature. You put this on your buffer tube. Once you get it installed, you get it set, where you want. You go shooting, and you hit that right there. Man, that locks it up nice and firm. Nice and firm. Feels like a fixed stock. You can see the little button down in here, hopefully. And you press it, that little tab pops up and that locks it onto the stock or to the buffer tube. That's nice. One thing I was skeptical about was the storage compartment. Most everything I saw online didn't say anything, you know, whether it was waterproof or not, or water resistant. Just said, hey, you got a storage compartment. I was like, okay, well, you know, it probably ain't gonna be all that big, but you know, you probably store some little tools in there or something. And you can't store shit in this thing. I mean, it's nice. I mean, it's nice to have there. You could probably put some frog loop packs, or maybe if you got a little Otis kit, you could put your brush and stuff in there. But other than that, I don't know. I think it's kind of pointless. One thing I do like, or another thing I like, is the battery tubes. You got two nice, big, long battery tubes. One on each side. And, hell, they kind of add to your cheek weld there, which is nice. You know, normally, collapsible stock, you get some shit like this. I mean, you ain't got no room to, hell, rest your fucking face on there. Here on this thing, you got plenty of room. And I think there's a couple companies that make risers that fit on these. Like I said, normally I don't normally mess with the collapsible stocks. When I do, it's normally for someone else. But what few times I have, you know, it's just been the straight MOE ones. These things snap, the rubber guards snap in there real nice. You know, they're in there real nice and firm. They appear to be somewhat water resistant. I wouldn't say they're waterproof, because I'm pretty sure water could get in there without a problem. But all in all, it's a pretty nice stock. I like it. I might have to do my own build with this one. You got your loop there, run your sling through if you want, which for this build we really won't need that. Yeah. Pretty nice stock. Shoulder's real nice. I tried it with some a plate carrier on. Shoulder's pretty nice. It's not too bad. Not too bad. A lot better than your normal plain Jane collapsible. This one, I believe, set me back $75, yeah, which is, I guess that's about normal for Magpul products. Magpul makes a good product. Everything I've used from Magpul has been top notch. I've never really had any complaints about them. This one did come with some dummy rounds. Not sure what the purpose of the dummy round was, but it came with some, if anyone cares. One of the other things I didn't like about this one is this one's actually fairly hard to get on your buffer tube. To put it on, of course, you got to raise this up, which brings your detent back in some, and then right here you got to get a screwdriver. It tells you to use the dummy round to pry that up, but the dummy round will just break off on you. You see that in there? It's kind of hard to see. I don't have a good focus on the phone. Just stick a screwdriver or something in there, pry that up, or you could probably actually get it underneath the lug there and slide it on. Like I said, a little bit more difficult than most stocks I've used to get it on there. And that could be with the buffer tube that we're using too. Here we're using the Primary Weapon Systems Enhanced Buffer Tube. I was kind of skeptical about this one. I didn't really see any reviews on it. There's a couple installation videos which are pretty good to follow. Which, hell, you really don't need the installation videos. It comes with instructions that are pretty freaking clear. So if you can read, guess what? You can put it on. What's supposed to be enhanced about this is a mil-spec tube. Okay, and it's fluted, and what the fluting is supposed to do is let all the grit, dirt, or sand or whatnot that sometimes gets in between your tube and your stock, and kind of gives you that grindy feeling, kind of binds up a little bit. I don't know if anyone's ever experienced that. I have. Kind of a pain in the ass. You got to take it off, clean it off, wipe it off. blow out the buttstock and put it back on. This is supposed to let all that dirt and stuff just kind of fall in these grooves and kind of prevent that binding. It also has some drain holes back here in case you by chance get water in there. I don't think anyone's going to get water in their buffer tube unless they're a frogman. So, unless you drop it in, a big puddle of water, and in which case you're just a dumbass. No, not really. Just need to be more careful, everybody. It's probably happened to a lot of people. Ain't happened to me yet, and I normally whack the muzzle. Anyways, it's marked 1 through 6. It's a 6th position. And you can see there, your 6th position's not really there for much of shit. Then I could have brought it in a little bit closer. But it's marked real well. Those markings are pretty nice markings. Etched on there real well. Comes with a milled on dual QD attachment. And this is where I kind of got a little skeptical about this. To put this thing on, you rotate it in, and it says one of the enhancements is to keep it stays in line. You don't have the castle nut feature. I'm not using a castle nut on this one. Sorry, I just had a notification pop up. Anyways, it has a little recess there where your detent's at. Okay, when you screw it in there, you get it far as in as a go, then back it off a little bit until it lines up, and put your detent in. Alright, and that keeps it aligned for tightening it down. As you can see, that actually worked out pretty well. It's fairly lined up. I mean, if it's off at all, it's very, very minimal. And this right here, somehow, is also actually supposed to help with carrier tilt. Not exactly sure how it's going to help. You got a little ramp there, and you can see where, you can see where the buffers, or the carrier's gone in there. Actually, I think that's from the buffer itself, putting the fucking buffer in. The finish on it, as you can see, hell, I just put that in there and it's already scarred up just a little bit, and that's just from turning it in and putting the buffer in. So the anodizing on it, I don't think is really all that thick. Like right here, hell, that got on there just from putting the damn stock on. Other than that, there's no other marks, or hell, it might have come with that on there, I'm not sure. I generally look everything over, but I'm pretty sure that's from putting the stock on for some reason. But you got tighten it down, you got 2 screws in there. I think you can kind of see them. There's the access holes for them. My battery's going low, so I'm not going to get a good focus. So you tighten those down, which are against your end plate. And then you got a bigger one on the bottom you tighten down, and that tightens into the recess on the end plate. It's on there rock solid. I've yanked on it, jerked on it, swung the damn thing around. It hasn't come loose. What I don't like is you got that gap there. I do not like that gap. I don't see it. It ain't gonna be a problem. It's just cosmetic, but I don't care for it. And I did notice you don't have as much rasp in there. At least, not to me there isn't. All in all, see, we got the tube for $140, and minus whatever the 5% discount was from Joe Bob Outfitters. I'd have to say I'd buy it again. Other than that gap, and then what little finish. It's going to be a working rifle. It's going to get beat up a little bit, I'm sure. Which, that's okay. I know the secret to touching it up, so. But all don't know. I think it was worth it. I mean, hell, normally by the time you get one of your QD adapters and you get your end plate and you get your castle nut, you get the tube, you get all that, you could be pushing. I mean, with a QD adapter, you could be pushing close to this price range. And I think there's also one, I'm not sure if it's made by Primary Weapon Systems, but I think there's another one that's supposed to help prevent the carrier tilt, and I don't think it comes with the QD adapter, and I want to say it's close to $80-$90. So, I mean, if you don't like the QD adapters, I guess that's an option. I saw it on Brownells. So, but all in all, it seems like a nice, sturdy buffer tube. I don't foresee any problems with it, but you know, after we get the rifle complete and up and running, we'll see how she works out. So, but from an install and a look and see standpoint, it's pretty nice so far. I think it was worth the investment. Let's say once we get the rifle completed, we'll touch on it a little bit more, along with some of the other parts. So, well, that's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try to touch on anything that anybody else wants to know if I've skipped something. So, alright, thanks. You have a good one.